Excellent, my friend, and you?
Say that again, you broke up.
Said excellent. Starting in 2 minutes. At least I've actually got some guests.
Good. I'm at work.
Yes, they started with nobody because there was a problem.
You guys are breaking up pretty bad. I'm going to drop out and come back in.
We're not actually saying anything, Chocolate.
And you're coming in clean as a bell.
Seconds. Check. How's that, Chocolate? Got 30 seconds to check whether or not you're working.
Yeah, you guys sound better.
Excellent. Welcome.
I'm at work, so I probably won't talk too much. More like spot holding, but if you guys need a spot, you can just kick me or something. But I'll be here. I'll be listening.
Cool.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter, as sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Chocolate Saying, Flat Earth Vegan Goy, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, at least one of you said hello. Any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
Not so far, but we got the eyes out. Looking.
Morning.
Delayed reaction. I get morning from Chocolate and no from Vegan Goy. Any signs of curvature with Chocolate? Shh, I'm at work. I'm not supposed to be on the show. I'll take that as a no. Any signs of axial rotation?
Nope. No curvature at all.
Nothing.
This is the best connection ever. It's like a satellite link up from the 80s. Brilliant. What about gas pressure next to a...
No curvature.
Real sweet guy.
Timing is everything.
Nothing there.
Any evidence that we can have a gas pressure without a container?
Haven't seen it yet, but I got my eyes out for it with my binoculars.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
No, not so far.
Right, you guys with evidence of the distance to the sun. Is that reared its ugly head?
None. We'll have none of that.
We'll have none of that.
Pretty
No.
tough with. Yep, nothing here.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? Hey, Jose.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a no for that question.
Nope.
No. What about the R value? Any evidence of Earth radius?
R-based architecture.
Nope.
Does the name rhombus count?
Starts with an R too.
Yeah, it starts with an R.
Not the letter R. Earth radius specifically. The R value.
So maybe chocolate got some evidence of that, some proof.
Any evidence of R chocolate? I held out little hope. Gotta be honest.
Does circular reasoning count?
No. Neither does begging the question.
Because it is circular, you know, so it does have a radius.
The radius isn't really circular, but there we go.
But
It's
maybe
related
a
to a
circular
circle.
argument does have a radius.
But the argument's certainly circular, so I'll give it you there, Arwin.
That's why I'm
I
called
can't remember
Arwin.
which commenter it was, but someone in the comment threads said, why don't you focus more on the self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? Because that's an absolute joke. They definitely teach it to kids. It's definitely without evidence. It definitely can't be proven, like everything we have in the housekeeping. But why don't we focus on it much? And I explained that to Anthony. He's away doing educational things at the moment. But I explained it to Anthony and said, well, the chances are that particular commenter wasn't around when Paul Voigt was in saying, of course there's evidence of the molten iron core. And then you go, well, let's have it then. And then you quickly realise there isn't. But since then, we haven't obviously brought it up. The reason for the actual housekeeping in the first instance is purely because those questions, those carefully phrased questions, have all been killed on the show. And occasionally people rear their head to think that they can actually solve one of those problems, but they won't. They are, in essence, the religious belief itself. But yeah, the molten iron core, it's a crazy one, really. We should maybe focus on it a bit more because it is an absolute joke.
Yeah, and they got no many points. Oops, they got the super borehole, right? That's number one. Then they got the. Got me.
Yeah, over Nathan. And so am I.
Yeah. All right, we good. So they got the super deepest hole, which is a little under 8 miles. They got the Mariana Trench, which is I think the deepest of the oceans on Earth. And then they got earthquakes. So they whatever extrapolate because of the earthquakes, and they can say it was in the middle of the freaking Earth. You know, it's ridiculous.
I just really, really want to know the cause of magma.
You say the cause
Why
of
is it there?
magma?
Why does it stay? Why is it there, and why does it stay heated?
Okay, well, their rhetoric is that you have plate tectonics that are rubbing against each other, and that's causing magma to pool up, and then the pressure builds up and it bursts out like a zit.
No.
And wave dismissal to their explanation. So what, do you not buy plate tectonics?
Well, not in the way they propose it. There may be some shifts, but not floating layers. No.
Well, I don't know if there's floating layers or not. I'm in California where we're between two different types of land. We got on the mountains right 100 miles from me, we got the Sierra Nevadas, which then go to a massive desert called Nevada. And it's a completely different land than we have over here on this side, which is very fertile. But that doesn't certainly put us on a ball spinning through Earth. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely two types of land. But
Fair enough.
Has that land ever shifted even a few inches, as far as you know, in history, in books, in texts?
oh yeah, it shifts all the time. That's what the fault lines are.
You can climb right down into some of them. I mean, they're not exactly, you know, moving at a speed, are they? They occasionally build up pressure. This is according to their rhetoric, and then they'll jolt and move a few inches, and that's where you get earthquakes, and that causes tsunamis and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we don't know what causes them any more than we know the shape of the Earth, but it's just something that happens.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying that's what their current explanation is. That's what we all get taught in schools.
Yeah.
But compressed stone and earth does not create lava. Just let's get real. May be able to create diamonds, but it's not going to turn to lava just because of pressure.
Did I just imagine this and put it off under my sleeve? But did I hear maybe about 10 years ago they were planning on digging a hole through, I don't know if through the whole Earth from, I don't know, from point A to point B, and they're going to build this super fast train that's going to take you whatever from the North Pole in quotes and to the South Pole in whatever, maybe a few hours. Something like that.
I've certainly seen it on some quasi-science shows where they give you a conceptual idea of a tube going through Earth and how you'd drastically speed up towards the centre and then slow down and then speed up again. All gravity-based, all bollocks. All sphere-shaped.
Yeah, I saw so many of those, dozens if not hundreds of those. What if, and you know, just speculations and theories and ideas. Science fiction.
Is it Mind?
I was a big fan.
Hello, how you doing? Red herring.
On.
Oh, is that you,
Travis, boys. Yep.
Good to have you.
Red Hen Radio coming in
Red Hen.
soon for it.
Good stuff.
Little choppy, but you came through. I was looking for. I woke up early, excited to look up and try to find the moon, but it is such a thick layer of fog in all over the place in here, so I cannot even see 1 mile away. Bummer.
I'm looking at it right now. It's a tiny sliver, and it is right in the path of the sun. So the sun's going to be heading here, but it's the smallest sliver. I've never recalled even seeing it that small, but I'd really never wanted to look at it that much. But it's still a little dark here, just before the dawn, and I can see it, just a little tiny sliver there.
Cool. Yeah,
is it tomorrow, the first day of the new moon?
Must be, because they don't get much smaller than this.
Hey, Event Horizon.
SX is here also.
Yeah, I haven't heard from SX.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello. Thanks for publishing your video. In the end, I didn't use it. You were right. You gave me all the reasons not to.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbish, but I'll be going back down to Asda today to redo it. So I'll send you one tonight if I get it. All right.
Cool. I felt really guilty when I watched it. I was like, "Yeah, it's exactly as you described."
Recently.
Has anyone done the same thing? Did you say?
Moon recently.
Yeah, just as you were coming in, Flat Earth Vegan Guys literally just caught some tiny slivers of the last bit before the blue moon, which is kind of what we were hoping for when we said, start taking them now.
Stuff.
Yeah, I was saying it's right in the path of the incoming sun. It's right there, exactly coming in. But I don't have a camera that's worth showing it. But I can see it right now. It's just hardly there. It's like a little pencil slit there.
So tomorrow morning, early in the morning, if I get to try to find the moon, I'm gonna have to point really close to the sun in the surrounding areas. Now, with the P900, is it gonna hurt the camera, the lens, and all that stuff? Because I don't want to be pointing it very close to the sun because it's gonna take all that direct sunlight.
No,
it's a good idea.
I've taken footage of the sunrise with no filter and haven't had an issue.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
It's in summer, especially, it comes up and is considerably less intense than when it's near to you. And I can only use that phraseology because that's how it looks. But when it's far away, you look at it coming up over the horizon, you can stare right at it, and it just doesn't hurt your eyes. It's not giving you loads of heat. And then when it's seemingly closer, it does. Hurts your eyes to look at and burns you if you're in it too long. You know.
Yeah, yeah. There's sun gazers that every morning they'll go out there and look at. I've done that. I've spent quite a bit of time just staring straight at the sun as it comes straight up, and I've never had my eyes hurt because, of course, the education system's the one that tells us that's bad. So it's got to be good for you.
Sounds weird hearing people describe it like that because I do it every other day. I'm up really early. I've got a young child, so not surprisingly, I'm up at sunrise. And I'll stick her on the worktop. We can look straight out where the sun comes up, and she'll watch it with me. And I don't give it a second thought, you know, because I don't watch TV. I forget that, you know, back in the day when I used to watch The Simpsons, they give you that idea that, you know, you'll burn the retinas out of your eyes if you look at the sun ever. But how are you doing? Is it Sync Wad? How are you doing?
No, that's the trouble that comes onto my show immediately. She's going to say, "Don't eject me," so I'd be very careful of this person.
Really? Just kicked her.
Yeah. Yeah. She tries once every show, and the first words, whoever it is, out of the mouth is, "Don't eject me." It's a text. It's like, bye-bye.
Did you guys realize when I asked about the P900 that I threw a reification fallacy twice, and I didn't realize until now, and you guys didn't realize?
What was your fallacy?
I say, if I point the P900 to the sun, is it gonna hurt it? Is it gonna hurt? You know? And I kind of said it twice. The P900 is not gonna get hurt. It doesn't have feelings.
Oh, get hurt. Well, I just assume you meant get damaged.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. But I just threw the hurt out there. Is it gonna get hurt? You know? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's how the bowlers sneak the fallacies in, and we don't even realize.
Well, the reification one's relatively new to us, isn't it? We've heard the body of science so many times, and then you figure out that that's actually, as you put it, a reification fallacy. Making things that are not real, you know, giving science a body and a mouth and letting it have an opinion.
Yeah, it's getting trickier by the day to get an opinion out without throwing freaking fallacies and shit like that, you know? At least for the ballers, because I'm not me. At least I speak up, you know? Whatever.
So do you have a show of your own then?
Did I tell you good props on the video that you made the other day? It was a good video.
Hello.
Hey, Flattener. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was excellent. Best one to date. No offense, Event Horizon.
Yeah, mine was useless, mate. Fine. Jose's was brilliant. That was awesome. I just done mine on the fly because I didn't want to get done for shoplifting because I was by the alcohol section and everybody was looking at me. But Jose's yesterday, that live demonstration with the torch down the end was fantastic.
And I am thinking right now get a little, like a little toy skateboard or something, and just put the phone on it, and just walk along and just drag it like a little dog leash with a little tiny thing with just a flashlight, just dragging it down the floor, and just set my phone and just walk away with the flashlight going away. That will be epic. I know it will work.
You'll have to get a farther distance though because of the elevation on the skateboard.
Yeah, or probably I probably use just a regular little flashlight. There's some little flashlight. Just throw it in the floor and tie a little string to it and drag it along. I think that might work. So if somebody beat me to it, please do it.
That idea with the skateboard kind of works really well in my head because within you using wheels, it kind of gets rid of the idea that there's curve anywhere because the skateboard will be racing towards you or racing away from you. So yeah, bendy floors are us.
Right, but pay attention to what I'm saying to you. You're going to have to get a farther distance in the warehouse because I was doing it again this morning, and the Walmart is 100 yards, and my light didn't disappear until the very end. So if you're going to elevate your light, you're going to have to go another 50 yards at least, I'm sure. So you have to find a very long distance that's going to be flat like that. That's my point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's going to be higher for the area to be hidden.
That's exactly what I found. So I was fiddling around trying to do it, and I'm going, I just can't quite get it to disappear. I can get it to squash right down, but it's not vanishing. And then I pushed it another couple of meters. Literally, that was all it was. And then I could get the book to disappear.
Yeah, and the camera, the viewfinder of my two phone, the one phone is maybe an inch away. It was an inch away from the floor, and the flashlight in the other phone was also about an inch away from the floor in the other side. So it was just the same height both. It fell.
Putting up a video. Sorry guys, you can't see it. The audience can. Okie dokie. Very good flat world logic. Right, where's my hangout page gone?
There you go. That was the skateboard. Full size.
Skateboard observation in the most literal sense. Did we get any new guests while that was going on? No. So, according to Peanuts Clark in the chat, he said that Aaron Ra has apparently caught the new moon. I don't know if you can elaborate on that, Peanuts. Does he just literally claim to have got a picture of a black disc or blue disc or whatever he's got a picture of?
Right, and what's the time frame? Because the moon's not new yet as of today.
This might be sometime in the past. I'm hoping Peanuts will clarify what he means in the chat. I don't keep up with Aaron Ra. I didn't even know who he was till he debated. Was it Jaren? Just claims it, never showed proof. Oh right, well that's handy. Tell him about make sure you tell him about my unicorn.
Yeah, that is so easy to say. Oh yeah, I seen something. I caught something. I interacted with something, but no proof to back it up. Yeah, right.
Well, at least tomorrow I know where to look for it. So I saw the sliver today. I have a pretty good idea where it'll be, so I can at least kind of take the binoculars out, see what I can find. But
I do love these simple perspective tests, perspective observations, because anybody can do them, and in one movement of the wrist you can basically explain, hey William, how you doing? Hello? Hello William? Yeah, with one move of the wrist you can basically you can explain why boats go over the horizon hull first, or why the sun sets the way it does. Absolutely awesome. So simple.
So yeah, this is the critic.
Anybody else watched Jaren and David Weiss yesterday talking about Rumpus and how he says that floors are bendy and stuff? Like, this is becoming a thing now because Rumpus is so silly to say something like that. It's hilarious.
I didn't catch it. It's on Raw,
yeah, and
right?
I got banned.
It's on Raw last night.
I got banned from the chat.
Was this on Raw?
Say again?
Was it on Raw?
Yeah. It was last night. They were live last night.
I started it. R-based architecture.
It is farcical. It's great.
Bendy floors, man.
Well, it's a great example, isn't it? Because it does literally descend their argument into farce when they have to claim that floors are bending. Like, yeah,
I thought it
you're
was
literally
genius.
everything is curvature.
Kind of
when it used to be the case that Anthony would say, you know, any obstruction is curvature, and it literally is the case. It's got to that point where anything being obstructed, it must be curvature. That's the only route they know how to take. It's blarmy, but great fun to watch. You know how ludicrous these people are.
Because it has to be.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show until halfway in the show that everybody was picking on each other and doing jokes and just joking around. And then I threw a joke in there in the chat, and I just got banned. I went in with my sock account with the same name, Jose Gonzalez, and I said like, did I just really get banned? They say, oh, really bad joke. Whatever, whoever, one of the mods. I said like, dude, it was a joke. I
What
went
was the
back to my
joke?
main account. I never got reinstated as a I couldn't text anymore. So, I apologize. I love you, Jaren and DITRH, but I'm not going to watch the show no more if I cannot interact in the chat. So the
I
mods
know how you
suck.
feel. That's how I felt with half of the shows, because I'd say something either in jest or because I was genuinely disagreeing, and you just get banned. And I've got 3 accounts. I've got Oakley Cord, Nathan Oakley. Subscribe to Nathan Oakley, by the way, if you want to hear the Uncut debates, and this channel. So I'd normally get banned on this channel, Nathan Oakley 1980, the main channel. Then you go back in, why was I banned on Nathan Oakley? So it's obviously me. And then you get banned immediately again. And then you go back in for a third time, or I would, with Oakley Cord, and go, what gives? You get banned again, and you go, right, well, I'm just never going to watch again, because half the fun is actually chatting in the chat room. That's one of the reasons
Exactly.
I don't ban people, or try and avoid it in the chat, is because, yeah, there's trolls, but ultimately speaking, that's part of the fun. I know people take it very seriously and get very heads up and stressed out about the chat. They shouldn't. If it's going to distress you, just ignore it. Just don't read it. Don't interact with people.
Yeah.
But if you like the battle, half the battle on the show is in the chat room. So if I start banning people just because they've got a different opinion, yeah, there's going to be arseholes, and I want to show those too. The people who just, use crap arguments or just ad hom the hell out of everybody. Those people get, they get shown on screen. So there's no escaping their own actions, even if they are just faceless trolls. It just shows the kind of ridicule we have to put up with.
Well, and the individuals can ban, you can block people all by yourself. You don't have to have a moderator block them from everybody. So that's what I do. I got people I don't want to see, and I can individually do it. But I don't believe that a moderator has to block people or ban them.
All right, I just put up my edited video from this morning if you want to look at the Master B.
I'm presenting it.
So basically, it was too long to send over into Skype, so I just cut out the last part where the light disappears. Can you see it clear enough at all? You'd have to zoom in.
Got CGI Ranty in the chat, says, makes a lot of sense. Most flat earthers are social justice warriors. You have to excuse my ignorance. I don't really know what a social justice warrior is. I can guess.
The SJW.
Yes.
What's a social justice warrior?
It's the Marxist dehumanizing cult that basically is being encouraged by the media and in schools and universities.
I'm downloading the video, Travis. So once it's downloaded, I'll play it. I don't know how easy it is to share, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying to work through it right now and get it better, but it's just I'm not very good at video editing, so.
So the bowlers got this argument and the excuse. They say, all right, so right now you are going back to things disappear from the bottom up, like the little flashlight test I did, and many other people have been proving this last few weeks, right, with the angle of attack. And then, but they say, but you guys say now that you can see the whole thing many, many miles away, 20, 30 miles away, you see the whole building, right? So what is it? And they were asking me this. So do you see the whole thing and nothing disappears, or are things disappearing from the bottom up? So it's,
hold on. Really? That's what they're saying? Oh, right. So all those months and months arguing about why there's a little tiny bit of the bottom missing. That's what we're seeing in the small scale with a small aperture. So when we're doing these observations, we're using things like iPhones intentionally because they have a small aperture. They can resolve less. They can see less. So therefore, it will disappear from 2 pixels to 1 pixel to no pixel in a shorter period of time. Well, that means that the limited angle will have the same effect happen in a shorter distance because of the small aperture. Now, Ranty did the same thing over 100 meters on a race course, and all he could get was the bottom 1 or 2 millimeters of his ring to disappear that had an egg on top of it. You know, it started to stretch from the midpoint of the camera down, and the bottom tiny section of the ring disappeared. Well, why didn't the whole egg disappear, right? It's in the limited viewing angle? No, it's dictated by the aperture. We're talking about the diffraction limit, and this is at the camera end. It bugs me when I hear people talking about the diffraction happening out in the distance. And no, the aperture is what dictates the diffraction limit, formerly known as the angular resolution limit. How much of something you can see at a given distance will be limited by the size of the aperture. Therefore, it is far easier to use a little tiny iPhone lens on the bottom edge of a camera, get it really low, and you've got a small aperture, a very low diffraction limit, so things will disappear much sooner. You just can't see as far with an iPhone, less than you probably can with your own eyes.
Yeah, in a shorter distance, yeah.
Yeah, so you get this effect easily in an iPhone. Step up to a P1000, obviously you've got zoom and a big massive lens. So yeah, we still do see this effect. It's the effect we're replicating when we see things cut off at the bottom, and it's called bloody Earth curve. No, not Earth curve. Providing you can see beyond that distance, anything below that angle will disappear regardless. So in Anthony's pictures of the Isle of Man, you've got that line, the limited angle, cutting right through the lighthouse, Mackled Lighthouse, and it runs the full length of the image because that is the default limitation of the angle. And everything will be linear going further back along the island, along the horizon, at that limited angle. So that's all it is, and we're replicating that in small scale with a small aperture. That's not to say that you get the exact same effect with the zoom camera that can see 50 or 60 miles on a 100-yard or 100-metre racetrack. Of course not. But you still will absolutely get the same effect to a certain degree, and he did. You saw the bottom section of the ring below the egg getting stretched and disappearing. You couldn't resolve the information because it was too limited an angle. Even at that distance, this will always apply without exception. So yeah, you want to claim that suddenly a P900 should do the same thing it does at 31 miles at 100 metres. You've got to be having a laugh, right? No, but you can simulate it with a tiny aperture on a phone camera at the lowest point. You'll still get the limited angle like you would with everything, including your own eyes.
And as we are starting to document the compression zone, as the further distance they go, they get squashed and compressed in the bottom. And it's been documented, and it will continue getting documented as the time go by. And by the way, the supermarket floor where I did that was curved, by the way. They really say it was curved. They took screenshots. They say, oh, look at the illumination on the whatever, the lights. It's curved. I said, like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah, it's a joke. But anybody reading those comments who's got half a brain will know that that's an absolute joke. You know, you've only got to go to your local supermarket and you know that, you know, no floor is perfectly flat. You can't have that. Don't get me wrong. They can get damn near perfect. It might be down to the micron, but it's never perfectly flat. However, we're not talking about something that's going to be obscuring things in the distance because of its curve going up towards the centre. No builders building curved floors in supermarkets. You've got to be having a laugh.
It's people like Conspiracy Cats who made a response video to Ranty's observation down the track. And he was jumping around and screaming and laughing like he found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And I saw his video and I creased up in comments and I told him he's missed something blatantly obvious. And then the next day you come along with your obvious debunking of P1000 versus iPhone camera, the size of the aperture. And the fact that he completely missed it and was dancing around to all of his subscribers, all of his teen subscribers that he makes these videos with edited humour for, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I hope people see people like Conspiracy Cats' debunking videos and people in the comments like me and all of the other flat earthers pointing them to these observations, because Conspiracy Cats is doing us a massive favour because he's bringing the argument out and he's making himself look like a complete idiot. So thanks, Conspiracy Cat.
Hello, Alan. Is that real?
Good afternoon, boys. How are we?
Doing great.
What's this?
There's one advantage of almost no moon, and that's it's less cold at night.
Has the moon disappeared again?
Yeah, about to.
Just
Your
wandered
favorite
up.
videos, supermarket videos, Alan.
Oh yes, nice bendy floors.
You happen to know where that goes, Alan?
Oh, it just wanders off like a lost child. What we're looking at here?
The video by Travis.
Floor of a supermarket.
Nice shiny floor.
Hopefully he's gonna
bending floor to you, I guess.
give us
Yeah,
an
that's
explanation.
actually one of the Walmart ball stores. When you walk in, you just walk all the way around and then in and out. So it's very, very unique.
So you're going to talk us through
Spherical
what this,
Walmarts.
you're going to talk us through it, Travis?
How long is it down the aisle?
You there, Travis?
Travis, you're muted.
Beautiful timing.
Travis?
Hello, Travis. No pressure.
You're
And
on
here we
mute,
are
Travis.
on aisle B.
Yeah,
Ladies'
this is
product to the
about
left.
as exciting as it gets, say, Alan. Without any explanation from Travis, this is just a video of an aisle from the floor.
Fascinating.
Lovely.
Isn't it?
Perspective, bro.
Yeah, beautiful
Sight,
demonstration of
it's
perspective.
amazing. The funny thing about sight is, yeah.
So, is this floor
if
floor
there's
curved?
if there's nothing, if you're looking past nothing, then you can see almost forever as long as the air clarity allows it. But if you're gonna look past something, eventually
Earth clarity.
you'll be obstructed by the thing you're looking past. It's just an unfortunate optical fact.
So is this a curved floor?
Look at the right hand side on the rail, the bottom of the shelving. It actually kind of looks like the Pontchartrain bridge. Look at that. It kind of goes up a little bit, and the appearance of the shelving looks like to go down at the end a little bit. Interesting.
Well, I'm more wondering about these reflections, these rather perfect looking reflections of the shelves above them. I'm just wondering, would you get that on a curved floor? Anybody?
Well, if it's only slightly curved, sorry.
Only
What do
slightly
you think,
curved?
Alan? Is this reflection
No, you're not
possible?
going to get that on a curved floor.
Reminds me of kind of like sunset across of an ocean, perfectly flat to me.
Jesus, you need to go on a better holiday if that's what that reminds you of.
Alan, come on, let's be intellectually honest today. What do you see and how do you compare that with what you see in real life?
Well,
We can have an intellectually honest discussion with you today, or are you just going to say it's curved and talk about the cakes on aisle 20?
Well,
They
let's
look
ask a
more
serious
like ladies'
question.
products.
Would you agree, Alan? One of the things we say is that as you get further into the distance, things will compress. Yeah, and this contributes to things being obscured from the bottom up. Would you agree that things are getting compressed as they go into the distance?
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is what do you think aperture does?
So, does stuff compress as it goes into the distance, Alan?
What does aperture do?
Does stuff compress?
What does aperture do?
Yeah, let's just kick Alan out. If you're not going to answer my question
Yeah.
and just come up with a question of your own, I'll just kick you out. Prick. Piss off. So, what I was going to do with Alan was point out that this stanchion here is quite clearly the same as this stanchion here. However, this stanchion's smaller. Or what's another word for that? More compressed. And when you get right to the end of this aisle, they're really teeny tiny. But in actuality, this is the same as this. It's just got compressed as it gets further and further towards the convergence point. Exactly as you'd expect. It's interesting because when you do curve calculations, this here would be considered to be the same as this here, even though clearly it's of a smaller angular size. But that particular aspect gets entirely ignored by the curve calculator. It's amazing. So people like Alan don't think that this gets compressed when it gets further down to here. They think it maintains its actual size. So forget what it looks like in this picture. If it measures 3 inches, it's 3 inches down here and 3 inches down here, regardless of the fact that it's clearly a smaller angular size, making the actual sizes of things almost irrelevant when you're measuring things at distance. because it's all to do with the angle that you see things at. These things down here at the bottom, this shelf, for example, is of a much smaller angle than this shelf. But in actuality, they're the same exact size. They're the same size shelf. It's just this one's compressed because it's further into the distance and therefore in a more limited angle. And the further and further away you get, the more and more that angle becomes limited. Until eventually, it becomes so limited that you can't actually resolve what's in that angle. It's too small to see in that tiny angle. And what's the consequence of that, you ask? Well, it'll disappear from the bottom up. Exactly as is claimed is caused by curvature when we look at things in the distance. It just so happens that having a tiny, teeny aperture will cause this effect to happen in yards rather than miles. But when you've got a massive super zoom camera, we'll see the exact same effect as we get at the effective horizon in this picture, but at the effective horizon at 31 miles. Same exact effect.
This is such a simple observation that we do every single day of our lives, every single human being, and probably animals too, that they don't even have to wrap their minds around it. We just see things in perspective. Things closer appears, they look bigger, and things in the distance, the same thing appears just a lot smaller. What's difficult about it?
Hey,
All right, I just uploaded the Walmart footage from my P900 if you want to check it out in Master B.
We've just had your video up for the last 10 minutes, killing time, so that you could talk us through what was actually going on, Travis.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I was out doing. I set the phone down and was piddling around. I apologize.
No worries.
But this is the iPhone one that you have up right now. Okay, so this is the iPhone. And I had to cut it down to the very end, so I'm at the very end of the 100 yards. So when I looked back over the footage, I could zoom in on my phone, and you can clearly see the light disappearing. But what I did from the beginning to the end was I would walk down like every 50 feet and lower the light as I moved away farther and farther. So you're getting the very end of it in this video. It doesn't look very clear to me in terms of what I can see here. So are you able to zoom in at all or make it larger? Or can you see satisfactorily what you want in terms of the light disappearing?
I didn't know we were looking at a light disappearing. So is this you at the bottom here? You can't see my mouse, but presumably this is you, right? In the distance.
Are you showing it on Arwen's or yours?
Mine.
Okay, let me
should be presented to
switch
everyone.
Over to you. Okay. All right. So, what's your question?
So this is presumably it's still playing, I assume. So it's presumably you walking up the aisle with a torch in your hand and lowering it and raising it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Where does that happen?
Right there. I'm squatting down. I just saw the light.
Oh, I see now. Oh, yes. Okay. Right. So the light disappears. There you go. Excellent. Let's just play that again when it gets to the end. And this is a nice high resolution, right? Oh, Travis has dropped. Well, very good. Let's just play it one more time.
Sorry, I dropped off somehow.
No worries. So this is Travis here. There's his light. Up.
Oh, this is live.
Yeah, so just here.
No.
Awesome.
It's not live. It's not live, no.
Oh.
It was
Perfect.
this morning.
So the angle is too small to see the light. Perfect.
That guy just got up out of nothing. Did you see that?
Tiny anticlimax on account of the fact that the big reveal was done by Jose when he did it, but yours is equally as good.
Yeah.
People looking down to you and throwing coins at you as you were in the floor, like here, a quarter for you.
Can I make a point?
Go ahead.
So the other day when Rumpus came on and Rumpus claimed that the floors are bendy or bumpy I started thinking about it. I started thinking about it, and Rumpus has to say that. He has to, because if they were to concede that what is happening is your line of sight is being obscured, then they have to go back and take back all of the obstruction from curvature ideas.
Yep.
Do you see what the point I'm making?
Absolutely.
Rumpus cannot concede that these videos are showing what happens, because then all his claims come back and say, well, okay,
I do.
So Rumpus, he can't concede to this.
Well, Nathan the other day was pointing out to Rumpus that the optical effect was happening before the floor even came into effect. And Rumpus was just like, no, of course it is. You utter more on the floor is always playing a role. He has to be here to lie about it. He has to. It's like being in the courtroom. The question has to be put out so people think about it. The doubt has to be put in people's minds.
Well, yeah, but it's also complete dishonesty on his part.
Yeah, but that's what we're. That's the best bit. So, as you rightly point out, he has to fight that position. He has to tell the audience it's the floor bending. And when I say, well, it happens before we reach the floor, it's still the floor interfering. That's how ludicrous his position has to become. But that's how untenable his position with a sphere Earth is. When you get down to the nitty-gritty of what really happens, limited viewing angle causes things to obscure from the bottom up. Boats don't go over the horizon because of a sphere Earth. They go into a limited viewing angle. And that will always be the case. It will never not be the case. They will never, ever find an example where this doesn't happen.
They have to argue the toss over every single thing, though. They have to point to one thing and argue about it, and then it's the next thing, and then it's the next thing, and before you know it, you're back to arguing the first point again and going round and round in circles. Because they have to point out everything and put doubt out there. They have to ask the question, am I stupid? And he's confident, and he's always going to be here saying that we're wrong. Just putting doubt out there. It's courtroom games.
I know that everybody on this panel and most people know that when anything is built, the first thing that must happen is that they must build on a level ground. If you've ever watched them build a house, they spend almost a week on the dirt because they have to get it level. It has to be level. If you build on an unlevel foundation,
but there's a mind trick to it. There's a mind trick, and that is that they assume that level is actually R-based curvature. So that a spirit level will always show up in relation to the center of R.
But that's the whole...
And it geometrically works, but in reality that would not yield the level of result that we actually get to see from obstruction. So it theoretically works, but in reality it doesn't really work. So they just have to be vague about it. Oh, we're too big, or it's too small, or blah blah blah, some kind of red herring.
Yeah. So just for the people in chat,
With level means curved.
For the people moaning about Alan getting kicked out, if you completely ignore my question and ask a new question to me, the host, and then I repeat my question and you do the exact same thing, I'll kick you out for being a complete moron. You don't dodge my question with a new question and then cry foul when I kick you out. No. You are damn well sure you're going to be answering my question, Alan. If you want to know what aperture is, look it up. But when I'm asking about something very specific to the topic in hand, why things disappear from bottom up, and you change the subject, if you don't know what aperture is, then you're an idiot.
Alan's another one who just comes in to lead the conversation away from the devastating point. He just comes in to slow it down. So I was really grateful that you kicked him out, to be honest with you. P. Mars is another one, just comes in to slow the conversation. They don't say anything of any worth. They don't bring stuff up. Yeah, kick it.
P. Mars is not always like that, but like half of the time.
He has been over the last 2 weeks, hasn't he?
Nah, it's half of the times. It just goes up and down. It becomes normal, then he goes insane again, and turns back to normal. And then he goes insane again. It's a pattern.
This is also entertainment to them. They just think that this is funny. They don't care about truth. They don't care about that we're being lied to. They just think it's funny.
I think they're agents much more.
No, they're not agents. They're not agents.
No. We are
Mars
trolls. We are trolls. The flat earthers, we are all trolls. That's what they say. Yeah, they say either you're a liar, you're disingenuous, or you're just a troll. That's it. They got no other options.
It's kind of true because we do really, really troll them with the truth.
There you go, just for Alan the retard. I've put the wiki definition of aperture in case you didn't know, because you're clearly an idiot.
Right, guys?
Yeah, so when we talk, when I talk to them,
by truth. I like that, Armin.
When I talk to them and I oh well, just have a conversation. I say, well, you can have your opinion. You know, I respect you. It's okay. But when I bring something like this little flashlight disappear, they get stirred up, butthurt, and vitriolous, and attacking me big time. Oh, you're just a troll. You know, I said, what the hell, guys? You know, they got all angry with this.
It's dispelling their belief. It's weakening the energy strands of the structure right in their faces. It's like a curse to them.
Really, according to Mercury Messenger 7, I'm a coward. Let's see if Alan gives me an answer to the question from the chat that I asked him, and he got kicked for completely ignoring and asking a blatantly obvious question that almost everybody in the chat already know the answer to. So let's see if Alan B. the coward will answer my question. Do things compress into the distance, assisting with them disappearing from bottom up? Alan. Let's see if Alan's a coward and will actually answer me. This is the reason he got kicked. So let's see what he does.
Just come in and answer the conversation. Don't obfuscate the point and, you know, not answer questions and be silly about it. Come in and have an intellectual discussion about it.
He says no.
Come in and talk about it.
There's his reply. No, you idiot. Yeah. So basically, Alan would have been useless and would have obfuscated that question indefinitely. I kicked him out, made my point, and now we're carrying on. We don't need to obfuscate the same point for 10 minutes while Alan asks a stupid question. No need. I'll just kick him out because he's an asshole. Like a lot of you assholes that come in to obfuscate questions and have only got a 2-point repertoire, we dismantle it in about 3 seconds and then spend 20 minutes with you circle jerking us around on the exact same point. And I've said already, I said it about 5 shows ago, no longer will it be tolerated. If you've got a good point, come in and argue it. If you don't know what aperture is, come in and I'll just kick you out.
You're a liar, Nathan.
I kick unfairly, do I, Mercury Messenger 7? Right, this is going to be a first. Bye, Mercury Messenger 7. You can never make another comment here again. Goodbye.
What? No, don't do it.
No, goodbye, Mercury Messenger. Yeah,
oh, God,
if I kick unfairly, go and bleat about it.
So
make me a few adverts. Go and make me an advert about how you're the only person to manage to get banned here. I'll do whatever I like. And if you want to tell me about how the rules are unfair, they're my rules. Okay? Yeah, this is a dictatorship. Absolutely. I run the show. If you don't like it, Mercury Messenger 7, sod off. Not triggered, just not tolerating your shit anymore, Alan. Your stupid question got you kicked out. Let it be a lesson to all of you. If you come here, ignore a question that's pertinent, substitute it with a stupid question, I'm just going to kick you out. Don't ask stupid questions. If you don't know what aperture is, do a quick Google search. I'm running a show. Yeah, I've managed to wiki it whilst running a show, put it in the chat and kick Alan out. So I managed to do all those things while he sits there in front of his microphone, heavy breathing, talking about chocolate bars. He's not worth anything to us. He's not worth anything to anybody in this discussion. Alan B is a waste of time. That's all he's doing.
I think Nathan is one of the best multitasker technology gurus out there because he got probably like 10 windows and apps open and he's always looking at the chat. So you guys know it.
Damn right. There's all sorts of crap going on. constantly having to keep an eye out for trolls. And then you get Alan B coming in asking you what aperture is. What an idiot.
Aperture?
Well, he's making very valid comments in the chat. He said LOL. Come on.
Yeah, just not worth his weight in this discussion, basically.
Aperture is a pretty complicated subject. From as far as I can see, optic related.
Let's see if Silent Nihilist, he's another asshole on thin ice. I'm in a mood to just ban a few assholes here. Silent Nihilist.
What? Not me.
Let's see if Silent Nihilist can answer a simple question. Does the angle that you view things at cause them to disappear from bottom up, as demonstrated about a dozen times so far in the last 3 days? Or is it always curvature that causes these things to be obstructed, Silent Nihilist? Let's see what he's got to say.
The rumpus in the house.
You had some serious questions, did you, Alan? What aperture is? No, you didn't have serious questions. You're a dingbat. Don't know what aperture is. You don't belong here. Come on, Silent Nihilist. Do you accept that a reduction in viewing angle can cause things to disappear? Slight Nihilist, sorry.
But Nathan, the show is dying. Only 249 people watching.
As demonstrated,
God, no.
Slight Nihilist.
But once you start
You're not interested in having a discussion. I'm asking you a direct question. I'll ask it once more, and then you don't get to chat here anymore. I'm in that kind of mood.
Oh,
so, we have demonstrated this on, what, 6, 7, 8 occasions? Probably half a dozen or a dozen occasions. Do you concede that that is definitely an explanation for why things can disappear from the bottom up? Slight Nihilist. Awesome. It's not an answer. Not demonstrated at all, says B Rational. Yeah, it is demonstrated.
Is this like the troll exam?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you haven't been paying attention, I'm freaking blocking you.
Prove the surface is flat first.
Cough up what we've been saying in the last year.
Yeah, there's a perfect mirror reflection on it, Be Rational. Sorry, Be Rational. Do you tend to find that building contractors go out of their way to make floors uneven and not level, and then manage to get those uneven floors to create a perfect mirror image, as just demonstrated moments earlier? I asked the question. It seems that you are ignorant of what's being discussed on the show. Are you purely focused on trolling the chat, rather than explaining why there's a perfect mirror image? Objects do not disappear from the bottom unless obstructed by other objects. No, Rumpus. A limited viewing angle can do it. You think everything's being obstructed by Earth curve because you're a zealot.
Can somebody make room for Rumpus? Can somebody make... Oh, somebody dropped Rumpus. You can get in.
Do I need to drop?
No.
No.
Jose dropped. It's going to be hilarious.
I think light can just stop. No, it can go into a reduced angle that causes things to be too small to see, as demonstrated on about a dozen occasions.
I would like Rumpus to watch the video, and I would like to hear his description of what is happening, why we can't see the light.
We already know his answer. He'll say the floor's curving.
So I guess we're going to have to run a level down each floor we do. I mean...
There's a gap, Be Rational.
God.
Feel free to join.
We have to remain intellectually honest, and people like Alan B are not intellectually honest. We're the intellectually honest ones here. Let's be fair. We don't have to do anything.
Rumpus is denying there is no such thing as a limited viewing angle.
Okay.
Brilliant. Just like there's no such thing as a complex hypothesis. This guy just denies everything. It's brilliant.
Come on, Rumpus. Come on. We got room. Please. Please enlighten us with your knowledge.
Does the light that was shined from Jose's camera not travel in a straight line, Rumpus? Is it subject to 7/6 refraction? So, is he literally going to claim that Jose's light was bending? No. That light just travelled in a straight line and somehow got obscured. I'll tell you why. It was in too limited of an angle. Simple.
Come on, Rumpus.
Comes next to me, Rumpus. Think you see. What you want us to see, more to the point.
Oh man, shout out to 260 watching. 261.
Wow, that's got to be a new record.
Chat's moving fast.
You just opened up a new
anyway,
level of the arena. People in chat are being held accountable.
Sorry, slight nihilists. These demonstrations prove that a limitation in the viewing angle can cause things to disappear from bottom up. So, where you claim they are unscientific, nobody claimed they were scientific. Prove nothing. Yeah, they prove things can disappear from the bottom up because of a limited viewing angle. That's why when you raise the angle, you see them again. And before you reach the floor, hey, gamer, how you doing? Oh, it's Jose.
Yeah, it's me. Come on, guys. I dropped off the panel so anyone can join, Rumpus or whoever. Some people is being called out, so I will drop again. Come on, join. Don't be cowards. Thank you.
You may as well hang around for the break, Jose. I know he's dropped already. Well, no, it's fine by me. You know, we're making these awkward questions. If no one wants to join and actually answer them, that's absolutely fine by me. Like I say, that'll be my opportunity to round out for a short break. So with that, I'll say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!